All right, the timer's done. That means it's time to get started. Hello and welcome. My name is Jim McMitchin. I'm the Executive Director of the Paulding Education Foundation here at Piece of Heaven Bakery. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 Annual Star Banquet. Yeah, this year's a little different. You can tell we're not at the Westridge Church and things look a little bit differently, but you know what? It's still exciting and it's a great opportunity to celebrate you both virtually now and in person here in just a few hours. So I'm excited about it. And for me to think about, we have been doing this with the school district for 10 years. It blows my mind that it has gone that long, and it just feels like yesterday when we started getting involved. I'm excited about it because I truly get to see what you do in the classrooms every day, and I see what the employees do behind the scenes that enable us to impact these students. So hear from me, thank you for what you do every day. I'm excited about our agenda today. While we won't be virtually long, I do have some great things for you. Today we get to hear from the state of Georgia's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Tracy Penley, and also from Dr. EOTY. So hold on tight, you're going to enjoy their messages. Immediately following, we're going to meet you here at Piece of Heaven to have some great dessert and specialty drinks, also to pick up your plaque and a gift from us, your yard sign, and some other things. So I look forward to seeing you here. We'll be here until 1 p.m. today. So I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, this event would not be possible without our amazing sponsors. And our presenting sponsor this year is the same one that's presented this event for years. Members First Credit Union. They are a tremendous partner, not only with the foundation, but in every aspect of our school district. You will see Members First in several different ways, whether it's kickoff meetings or whether it's end of the year or pre-planning or post. They typically are involved in just about every aspect. One of the cool things that I love about Members First is they stepped out and partnered with our district to open the first school-based bank here in Paulding County at Hiram High School. Our students get to work side by side with seasoned professionals to understand and to envelop themselves in the baking industry, and that is amazing. They're not the only one. We have a lot of other sponsors that do this, and they're all part of our school district in so many different ways, like Credit Union of Georgia, Chick-fil-A of Dallas and Hiram, our benefits people, NFP, our Piece of Heaven Bakery, also Heart Insurance, Sparkles of Hiram, and so many others. I just want to say thank you because what they do enables us to do events like this. So thank you. Now, I'm going to get off the screen and let you get to what's important here. So without further ado, let me ask Dr. EOTY to come and share a few words with us. Dr. EOTY?
Thanks, Jim. This is just such a special day. It's our opportunity to celebrate our employees and teachers of the year. On behalf of our Board of Education and myself, I want to say thank you and let you know how much we truly appreciate all of your efforts to support our students and staff. Your hard work does not go unnoticed, and today is our day where we get to celebrate you. So thank you again for all that you do. I'd also like to take a minute to thank our Paulding Education Foundation. They are just a tremendous group of individuals who work to really support our students through scholarships and our staff through events like this. So the Paulding County Education Foundation, thank you for all that you do. Now, I get the extreme pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is Ms. Tracy Penley. She works in the Atlanta Public Schools. She was selected as the state of Georgia's 2020 Teacher of the Year. She has had an amazing impact inside and out of the classroom. She grew up in challenging environments, and teachers were such a powerful influence in her life. And I see that same passion in each of you. I look forward to seeing you all later at a Piece of Heaven for a snack and a treat. But right now, we've set aside this time to celebrate you. So let's start by hearing from Georgia's 2020 Teacher of the Year, Ms. Tracy Penley.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. EOTY, for that lovely introduction. My name is Tracy Penley, and as he told you, I'm the 2020 and 2021 Georgia Teacher of the Year, and I am thrilled to be here today to celebrate you, to talk about all of the incredible things that you have done this year, to wrap up another year, another one in the books, and a year that was truly unlike anything we could have ever expected. But you showed up, and I am so excited to be here to celebrate you today. this is just a little bit about my background. And this is the last class that I taught this previous year. This is my group of fourth graders. It's the smallest group I ever taught. There's 22 students, but y'all, it was the hardest group of kids I have ever taught. And as a result, it was also my most rewarding year. I had 12 students on behavior trackers, 15 out of those 22 were boys. I had 6 students that I followed progress monitoring with, eventually with 4 of them moving into special ed services. And I watched the kids grow, because it's not about those test scores. It's about seeing our kids grow and the investments that you as Paulding County's teachers are making in your students, investments for their success today, tomorrow, and beyond. Now, this past March, you guys really showed up. We went very quickly from in-person to virtual instruction, and some educators were teaching as many as 70 individual sessions a week. You were participating in parades, gathering books for students, and really making it magical. And I can't thank you enough. If there is anyone who thinks that a teacher can't do everything, I want to talk to them, because I don't believe it. You guys can do anything. And in fact, the heck with all this essential worker business. You are essential heroes. And I don't want you to take this lightly. And I don't want you to underestimate the role that you have played in your student success over the past many, many, many years, and especially with your students over the last year and a half. Think about it. Your role, you've had a hand in everything. The healthcare workers, all of the first responders, our military, our scientists, every single person has sat in teachers' classrooms. In fact, I believe that teachers are collectively the most powerful group in the entire world. Everyone sits in a teacher's classroom, and our impact is infinite. Teaching is really hard work, but it's also hard work. And that's okay. Hard work is going to be hard. My own story is the story of the impact that great teachers in Georgia have had on their students, and the investments that they chose to make in me. The payout came much later, of course, but the support that they gave me along the way and the motivation was absolutely everything. Now, I could spend forever telling you my whole story, but I'm just going to give you the gist of it this morning. This is a picture of me as a 6-year-old girl, and it's shortly after I was in a car accident. An accident that left a prominent scar on my face. Y'all, and you know our students, the very first thing that kids say when they see me is, "What's on your face? Is that a pimple?" Right? We have no filter. Are you pregnant? But the kids want to know me just as badly as I want to know them. And that's where those relationships really start. And so I lead with my story, and I give them small pieces of me and make myself vulnerable so that we can really know each other. Now, on this particular morning, my mom was going to score her next high. It was still dark outside. She put me and my twin brother in the car, and we fell asleep. On the way back, what I remember is spinning, 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 crash. I slowly pulled myself up, and my mom was passed out at the wheel. My brother was crying. He had hurt his foot. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and the glass had blown back and shattered across my face. And I just remember seeing blood. And at the hospital, as the uncles and aunts and cousins and us teachers gathered around me, I started thinking, whoa, maybe my life isn't like everybody else's. Well, it wasn't long after that until my mom bought drugs from an undercover cop, off to prison. But when she returned, I thought, you know what? Things are going to be different. I was a 4th grader, and mom had done her time. She had lost her 2 kids. We were finally reunited. Dad was never in the picture. And on top of it, at age 40, mom comes home with COPD. That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, meaning at age 40, she was on life support. I can't imagine that. I'm 37, and I can't imagine not being able to play with my kids. But that was our story, and that was our truth. And while I was taking care of the house and getting my brother up for school and cooking and helping my mom with her breathing treatments and oxygen tanks and the daily care that took. Unfortunately, my mom was still taking care of her addiction. And that looked like driving around mall parking lots, asking people for money. It looked like selling any kind of gift or anything that came into the home. And it was hard. In everyone's story, right, there are a couple of moments in our life where an idea just really crystallizes. And for me, the first time that happened was at the end of my 4th grade year. I had just gotten off the Sunday school bus. I was wearing one of 2 dresses that I owned, and I would alternate. And so I got off the bus at the apartment complex, and Mom said, "Get in the car." I knew where we were going. This time my brother wasn't with me. And this time she dropped me off at a Dairy Queen and gave me $2, said, "Get an ice cream. I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, cool. I'm on crutches at this time because I had hurt myself in PE. So I'm in that dress with my crutches. Hobble, hobble. I get my ice cream. Hobble, hobble. Back out to the patio, and I sit at one of the picnic tables. 10 minutes have passed. Mom should be here. No mom. I vividly remember that ice cream cone dripping down and melting down my hand and splashing onto the pavement as I became more afraid. After about an hour, the police came and, "Little girl, where are your parents?" Do you think I told them? Nope. Because if there's one thing we learn as children, and our students know this too, is that you do not share your family's business with other people. You just don't do it. So I told them, "No, I live down the street. Mom will be there shortly." And not long after that, she returned, and turns out she just forgotten she had me with her. And she took me right back to where she'd been, and this time left me in the car. Here's that moment I was telling you about. I'm sitting in the back seat. My hand is still sticky from that ice cream cone. And I think to myself, if I'm going to do anything in this world, if I'm going to make it out of these circumstances, unfortunately, this woman is not the one that's going to help me. And lucky for me, I had the most incredible, extraordinary teachers following that year, starting with Dr. Bobby Ford in the 5th grade. Dr. Bobby Ford showed me the joy in learning. She built a community in the classroom that I belonged to. I had a place to belong every day and to feel safe. She started every single morning reading to us from the rocking chair. We finished the entire Indian in the Cupboard series that year. Talk about building community. Oh my goodness. Everything we did was hands-on. When we learned geography, we weren't coloring maps. We were painting paper mache globes that hung from the ceiling. When we learned about economics, we had a full-on classroom business economy where we created small rugs and sold them as Mother's Day presents and even got money back in shares. I remember giving her my share. I was able to get $5.17 from digging in the bottom of my aunt's purses and cleaning out the gum wrappers and keeping the change. I'll never forget the share she gave me back, $20.50. I was rich. And what an incredible life lesson that was. At the end of that year, I won an art contest for the school when Georgia was welcoming the 1996 Summer Olympics to Atlanta. And Dr. Ford came up to me and said, "Tracy, there's this celebration. It's going to be amazing." And I told her, "I can't go. First of all, my mom is too sick. We don't have any money and we don't have a car right now." Dr. Ford wasn't going to let that happen. She picked up me, my twin brother, and my mom and took us to Steak and Shake and then to the reception. That's a picture of me there in the top left corner. I felt like a star. I was going to be honored. This was some of the first attention and recognition I was getting. Didn't get to be in Little League or dance or any of those things. I was at home taking care of mom and being moved around with 9 different families. So this was special. But of course, right before it starts, mom has a panic attack. And selfishly, I know, but you have to forgive me, I was only 11. Selfishly, I'm sitting there going, great. Mom steals it again. But Dr. Ford wasn't going to let that happen either. You guys, this lady left the reception at the Twin Towers downtown and returns with an oxygen tank. Talk about a hero. She saved the night, and I felt like a rock star. Now, the year that I was in Dr. Ford's class, she was the 1997 Georgia Teacher of the Year. So you can imagine how ecstatic I was when she was there to name me the 2020 Georgia Teacher of the Year. Oh, like, right? I know. It's pretty extraordinary. So I started sharing my story about Dr. Ford online. And, here I was thinking that Dr. Ford was put on this earth to help me, Tracy Nance Penley, right? To change my life. But what I realized is that Dr. Ford had been planting seeds for a long time. Dr. Ford was my fourth grade teacher back in the 70s, and she's the reason I went into the profession I'm in. Dr. Ford helped me become a principal. Dr. Ford is the reason I became nationally board certified. Dr. Ford, Dr. Ford, Dr. Ford. You see where I'm going? It wasn't just me. Dr. Ford had been planting seeds for years and years and years. And even before her, it gets even cooler because I shared the story online and Dr. Ford's daughter shared this. Dr. Bobby Ford also had a special teacher, a teacher that saw her and believed in her. Her daughter writes, Miss Sim, I was touched by the enormity of the fact that another teacher in another time, Miss Simmons, who invested in and believed in a little girl named Bobby, would never have known that she was also planting seeds of hope for a little girl named Tracy born a generation later. Whoa, right? It wasn't just me. It wasn't just Dr. Ford. I came across this quote, and it really does a good job of summing it up. You can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you can't count the number of apples in a seed. Teachers are powerful. I can count those kids in my class. I can count the colleagues on my hall. But what I can't count is the impact that I have because it ripples out and out forever. The lives that you invest in today is a future investment in the lives of others. And that's huge. Thank you, educators. So after that, my mom passed when I was 13, and my brother and I were separated for a couple years. And my Uncle Pete and Aunt Nancy took us in. And I was given privilege. I was able to see such a huge disparity between my childhood and then what life was like as an older teenager living with my uncle and aunt. And so I knew I wanted to work with kids. And I've learned a lot from my own childhood and experiences with the teachers, but also in the classroom. So Paulding County, what are you investing in? I'm going to wrap it up with, because I think it boils down to 4 big things. This is what we're investing in. This is how you're making the difference that you're making. The first one, relationships. We need to connect with our students at the beginning and end every single day. And you don't just show up at your schools. That's not why you're here being celebrated today. You're here because you show up. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just a job. It's that hard work. You lead with your story. You make yourself visible to students and families, and you have an open door in every meaning of the word. You invest in growth, right? We give feedback to our students, and importantly, I teach them to love your mistakes. When a 1-year-old is learning how to walk and she falls down, what do you say? Do you change their color on the clip chart? Time out. Oh, I know. You send them to an alternative mother. No, when that kid falls down, you go, yay, get up, good job, do it again. Can you imagine what the world would be like if every time we messed up, someone said, get back up, good job, do it again? That is what we invest in our students. It's not about those scores. It's about how much we see our kids grow. And that's what I track for my students with our benchmark scores. And we have quarterly conferences where we sit down and they tell me about their progress. They take ownership of it, and they're proud of how much their arrows grow. The next part, we invest in magic. You want to talk about social emotional learning and talk about really knowing our kids and having student-centered instruction. That means we got to know our kids. And guess what? They're children, right? Engaging teachers know how to hook with fun and role play and relevant problem solving, right? And sometimes we dress up as Darth Vader to teach balance in unbalanced forces. We bring the magic to our students, whether you're elementary, middle, or high school. Kids are kids. And so what does that look like? It looks like getting involved in the community. My students head to the senior nursing home every single year to read to our seniors, but then to also interview them about their experiences during Jim Crow. We dress up. We act out battles. This is the Battle of Bunker Hill, if you can't tell, right? We make it magic. We have book tastings. This is simply a piece of tape sectioning off the size of a Conestoga wagon. I had to make a share chart for it because the kids were that excited, right? We have real assembly lines. We make our own instruments. And anytime we read a novel, we think about what those big concepts mean in our own lives, right? You guys did this virtually too. Virtual field trips, building forts, pajama days, thinking about what actually mattered to them and how to make the content matter to our students. Here's the very last piece of what we're investing in. And this is the most important one and why I save it for last. We have to invest in equity. It is still true today that the socioeconomic class a child is born into is the number one predictor of their success as an adult. And in every single school, we have students with various needs, right? Equity is different from equality. Sometimes I worried about that word becoming watered down because we've been hearing it so much lately. Equality is when we give everyone the same thing because it's fair. But equity is when we give every student and teacher the supports that they need in order to be successful. That's the big investment because you can single-handedly change a child's future. Think about those thank you letters you've gotten. Think about those graduation invitations you've received. It's important. And I know that's a really huge undergoing to take, but what it means is showing our students literature and people from a variety of perspectives and cultures. It's having your kids be able to see themselves in what you're teaching and being able to take pride in various groups and experiences. It's honoring student voice and truly making their voice and experiences the center of that classroom, right? It's having those hard conversations when the kids bring up things they've heard in the news. It's stopping and saying, that sounds really hard. Thank you for sharing. What do you all think? What can we do about it? And it's really becoming more knowledgeable, right? It's understanding who you are and the skin you're in and the story that you have lived and what you can do to give back and make it more possible for all of our students to have equitable and insanely amazing life chances. This is the work that you're doing, and I can't thank you enough. Please remember, teachers, you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you cannot count the number of apples in a seed. Congratulations on completing this year. I hope that you have the most joyous and restful summer vacation ever. And if you need anything or have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and follow up. You can reach out with me on Facebook, on Twitter, or at 2020GATOTY@gmail.com. I hope to see y'all real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. I sincerely appreciate a great message, and that is something we can all celebrate, the wonderful work that you guys do, both employees and teachers in our district. Speaking of that, let's take a look now at all of our great staff here in the district, starting with Employees of the Year. Great folks, all of you. Thank you very much for what you do. And now, let's take a look at this video to reveal our District Teacher of the Year.
She is easily one of the most courageous teachers I've had the pleasure of working with. She doesn't mind going a little outside the box. She lets the children be creative, and that's why they gravitate to her. Just in the short amount of time that I've worked with her, we've done human timelines, we've done grouping that spreads outside the classroom, we've done things in the hall, and I think that is so wonderful because you can't put her in a box because she's right there with the kids, and she will pull out every tool she has available in order to have them to be encouraged and to really engage in the content.
She's in her 4th year of instruction and always been an 8th grade teacher, but I can tell everyone that she has touched the lives of everyone that she has come in contact with, whether it be another staff member or whether it be a student. Students come back to see her. She is one that she has touched many, many lives over the years. And Ms. Johnson, it's just a blessing to have you on staff, and just so thankful that you are here, and you are a rich Raven, and we are just so proud to name you as our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, way to go.
Congratulations, Ms. Johnson. Great achievement this year. And to all of you, thank you for your investment you've done this year. Now, I look forward to seeing you here in just a few minutes at Piece of Heaven Bakery to pick up your plaque, your gifts, and also to have a picture. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.